Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Anime Over Analyst here, and today's video is going to be a review of the final season of the Seven Deadly Sins. Yes, I decided to binge watch the entire final season today, and I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys. I felt like I had to take a shower after watching it. It was rough. So, I initially liked Seven Deadly Sins. I thought it was okay, and then I started actually getting into it the more times I kind of rewatched it. I rewatched the first season probably 3 or 4 times now because I just loved the first season. And it kind of saddens me seeing the show degress as it went along, seeing the animation quality just go down and down and down. It was bad, that animation quality. So I finally managed to convince myself to watch this final season, and really the only reason it was because I hate leaving a series opened like that. And so I figured, you know what, let's just jump right on into it. So, this last season, story-wise, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was too terribly bad. I just thought it was very campy and very, very corny. I will make a note that I watched the English dub on Netflix. I did not watch the Japanese sub. I've done both. I've watched the series in both, and except for this last season, obviously. And, well, I like some of the English voice actors. Like, I like Meliodas' voice actor. And then some of them I found out that I really don't care too much about. And part of me feels like the reason why I don't care too much about them is just because the script sucked. Like, I was watching this and the dialogue sounded like it was spewed from a 5-year-old. Like, I was just listening to it and I was like, you've gotta be kidding me. And they were constantly referring to power levels, and I'm sitting there like, who cares? These numbers mean nothing to me. I mean, I know they explained power levels back in like season 3 for some stupid reason, but really, there was absolutely no need for power levels besides to be like, yeah, this guy's stronger than this guy, and this guy's stronger than this guy. I'm like, who cares? Who cares? That's why I like One Piece so much, is because their power numbers is based off of their bounty, which is pure clouds. Like, there are some people who have a high bounty but can't do shit, like, say, Buggy, whose bounty goes up and up, even though he hasn't really done jack shit. It's just because it's purely based off of cloud, and I like that. But, this series, Seven Deadly Sins, was like, meh. So, it picked up immediately after the last episode of season 4. 4, 3, 5, I don't know. It's Netflix, so it's kind of weird. The thing that kind of bothers me a lot about this whole season is that it supposedly took place in one night. And I hate it when anime do this. This is exactly why I dropped Naruto during the war arc. Anime, when it goes so deep into like the fights and stuff, tend to forget about time of day. And they just forget about time, period. Like, time is irrelevant. You can have like these 24-hour days for all it seems. Like, it is stupidly nuts. Like, it took an entire episode for Merlin to perform a 12-minute spell. Like, think about that real quick. It's a 12-minute spell. You think she'd be able to do it in 12 minutes, but no, she can't. It was really sad. It was really, really sad. So, that's kind of one of my biggest issues, was the fights. The Demon King was a pushover. there's nothing else for me to say. The Demon King held almost no weight to me whatsoever. He got destroyed by Meliodas' Dark Bowls of Darkness. And that just felt so stupid and anticlimactic. Like, when has any, like, bullet projectiles ever worked, really, in this series? Like, sometimes, like, King's kunai, like, assault would work. I think it worked once and then never worked again, even if he upgraded it a zillion times. And yeah, the Demon King was just so bland of a character. Like, I completely expected him to take over Meliodas' body at the end. I was sitting there halfway through, and Meliodas and Ban, who, after reuniting in Purgatory after 1,000 years, they go and they keep constantly losing to the Demon King in, like, these 3-on-1 battles. And I was sitting there and I'm like, wow, the Demon King seems so strong. Why in the world does he want to pass off his power to Meliodas? I was sitting there, it's like, there's no way. There is absolutely no way. Nah, this type of villain, he seeks immortality. He seeks to live forever. I'm surprised he's kept his sons alive, you know. Honestly, I was sitting there, I was thinking, Demon King probably would have killed his sons, kind of like a Kronos situation. But no, he kept them alive and tried to prepare Meliodas to be a vessel for him. And that worked so well. Yeah. So I guess I need to backtrack a little bit because I kind of jumped forward towards the end. So, backtracking a little bit, the first episode was kind of like a setup episode. It was pretty much just Ban walking around in Purgatory a lot. It also showed Estarossa going completely psycho and fighting King Derriere, and I don't think Gothar had showed up yet. It was King and Elizabeth. Oh, and the two archangels. It's like Samiel and Tamiel. And so they were all kind of duking it out, and that's pretty much the first episode. I think the second episode is when Ban and Meliodas reunite, and that was actually a really cool moment. I actually liked that a lot. Maybe that was the first episode. I don't know. At this point, it's all kind of blending together of just a cesspool of terrible. And so, the one kind of shining beacon was when Ban and Meliodas reunited. That was really cool because Ban had been going through some struggles, transforming into like a demon himself and reverting back and forth again. Like, he's constantly doing this. Then he fights this other demon creature, and they fight for like... I don't know. And in Purgatory, instead of just saying days or weeks or something, they're just like, yeah, a year passed, a couple years passed. There's no big deal, just a couple years. And that in itself lost meaning. It really did. Because after a while, I'm sitting there and it's like, yeah, they're spending hundreds of years, centuries in Purgatory, even though I think they said like 1 year was like 1 minute in real life. Kind of sitting there and I'm like, okay, so show me what a year in Purgatory looks like. But no, instead it was more like, here's just some random locations. And when I say random locations, there's really only 2 locations. It was like Volcano and then Arctic. And it was like, it swapped back and forth, and that was it. And I guess that was kind of the point, because it's supposed to look like a barren wasteland of just harsh extremes, like harsh cold versus to a harsh heat. But sitting there and I'm like, time means nothing here. It really doesn't. And so I kind of got annoyed after a while when they kept being like, oh, how long have we been fighting these creatures? Oh, I've been walking around for a couple centuries. I've been like, okay. Like, I get it. He was doing it for a very, very long time. But honestly, in Bond's character, they said that there were like changes to him, and there were kind of changes to him, at least in the ways that like he was always much more determined. He almost seemed a lot more upbeat of a character, because prior he was always very, very depressed. But I wish that they showed more of Bond's mental struggle. I think that's just my personal opinion. Like, they showed it a very good, decent amount prior to meeting Meliodas, when he was constantly changing into like this demonic creature and back again. Like, I liked that because it really showed the struggles. I wish that maybe showed a little bit more of like the effects after, you know, spending all this time. Like, part of me was thinking, how in the world does he keep like the memory of Elaine in his head after this? How does he still remember? How does he, you know, like, if there was something like, even like a little tune that he would sing to himself, because that's something that Bond would do. He sings tunes. He kind of does, that's kind of his own little gimmick. If he had like maybe sang a tune about Elaine just to keep her memory as he went through hell, I think that would have been a really cool idea, honestly. But no, instead it was just like, I'm doing this for Elaine, So I guess props to him because he kept that willpower, but I don't know. There was just times when it just seemed a little forced, I should say. Like, forced as in his storytelling perspective, not forced as in his character was forcing himself, because he was forcing himself. So that's pretty much Purgatory. They do meet Wild, which is Hawk's brother. Hawk's real name is Mild, and I noticed that throughout the entire time, neither Bond nor Meliodas mention Hawk's mama to Wild. In fact, Hawk's mama didn't show up at all in this entire series. Like, what happened to Hawk's mama? Actually, now that I think about it, that kind of blows my mind. What happened to Hawk's mom? She was propped up to be this overpowered demon beast, and it's been a while since I've seen the last season, but I remember her kicking some major ass in the last season and then keep on going. Yeah, what happened to her? See, that's the problem with this series, is that it really just tried to consolidate, and I won't say it felt rushed. I mean, it did feel a little bit rushed, but it was more along the lines of they just wanted to end everything, just like end. So I guess it felt rushed in that aspect. And I guess on the lines of it being rushed, this is why I'm kind of on the fence with it being rushed, because it had no ending at all. It was literally like Demon King. I don't know if he's dead, but he got defeated. And so Demon King's defeated, dead, whatever. Meliodas is back. Everyone's happy. The end. And I'm like, wait. Usually they have like an episode afterwards where they're like, and this is what happened. This is kind of like, just a recline. Just to kind of be like, oh yeah, this happened and this happened and this. Nope. And I don't know, like, it just felt like they were waiting for the product to be done. And so it's just kind of sad, because I think that there was a lot of potential for the series. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it was like budget issues. But like, even the animation looked like it could have been something that I could have done. Literally, like me having basic editing skills. It looked like I could have taken just a 2D picture and then moved him around the screen, and that was called anime. Like, that was it. Just a single picture, no movement of any body parts. It's just moving around the screen. Like, I was watching that, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. There were so many times, so many times when an anime character is running in the background, running forward, but they're running in place. So many times. And that was never really something I had noticed until I watched like Anime Wen's Anime Sense channel, and he would always make like a kind of snarky, like fun comment about running in place. And I never really realized how much that would bother me until I saw this season. And most other anime that I've seen, if I see running in place, I'm like, heh, they're running in place, oh well. For some reason, in this season, the running in place bothered the heck out of me because they were propping up like this super centaur creature that was supposed to be the top demon, but I don't even know if they gave him a name. Like, I was waiting for like Lucifer or something like that, something cheesy like that. But no, I don't even remember the name of the top demon. It was just some top demon who was supposed to be super OP. And I guess it was OP, like he took out Escanor, but Escanor was already kind of wounded and worn out anyways. So I can't even blame Escanor for that. Like, Escanor has like a really, really good peak in time, and then after that, it's like mainly off of just sheer willpower if you can survive. Oh, and that's another thing, now that I think about it. What happened to Cruel Sun? Like, in Season 2, that shit was so fucking OP. Like, just seeing that and seeing Essarosa get destroyed by Cruel Sun. And then seeing like 4 or 5 of them just being shot in random locations. Just like, oh yeah, it's like I'm throwing like a baseball or whatnot. And all the bad guys are just like, what the hell? That's just so bad. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm not even little. I'm really disappointed with this season. I wish that they could have done so much more with it, but it is what it is. What do you guys think about it? You know, maybe I should do a manga review of the 7 Deadly Sins. What do you guys think about that? Comment down below, and maybe if this video gets 10 likes, I'll do a manga review of the 7 Deadly Sins. Kind of like how I did a manga review of The Promised Neverland. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyways, I'm the Anime Over Analyst, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.